Welcome to the Aesthetic Advantage podcast, where we explore the business of beauty, wellness, and medical aesthetics. Each week, we bring you insights into treatments, innovations, and strategies shaping the industry. And if you're business focused, find out what makes this franchise worth owning. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, I'm Loni from Glosshouz, and today I'm excited to talk about face ThreadLifts. So this is a procedure that many people ask me about all the time. I wanted to show you what happens during the procedure and what you can expect for before and after results. But it's one of my favorite things to do every few years here at Glosshouz, and hopefully this was very helpful. All right, so first let's talk about the benefits of a face thread lift. Treatable areas with a face thread lift are going to be the brows. A lot of people come to us with concerns about their brows, with their eyes being a little hooded, maybe to improve asymmetry of one brow versus the other. And of course, the trend of the cat eye or the fox eye look is always good to raise the tail of the brow. That is one area that we could treat with face threads. The next is the cheeks. This is really a very target area that restores a heart-shaped face to someone or gives them a heart-shaped face. So that really contours the cheeks and lifts the cheeks up to restore facial volume up in the cheeks, which really creates more of a feminine look. Ladies really like the mid-face area to be lifted. Next is the nasolabial folds. Those are your smile lines that go from your nose to your mouth. And if those are large creases that you get over time as you age, then we can target those areas with threads and just pull back the skin to reduce those nasolabial folds. Next is the jowls and the jawline. So if you have your fat pads of your cheek have descended over time, because as we age that just happens, or your jawline is not as snatched, so they say, or as slim as you would like it to be, then you can target threads for the jawline, and that makes a huge difference in someone's appearance to make them look so much more youthful. And then lastly, we have the neck area. We can target right under the jaw and at the neck so that we can reduce some of that neck tissue and really create a more slimmed look with the neck and the jawline. Next, let's talk about what are threads. So you're going to be putting these threads in your skin tissue of your face. You really want to know what they are. Mint is the brand of the thread that we use, and it stands for minimally invasive non-surgical threads. Threads are made out of a complex sugar called polydiaxanone, and it is a suture material. It's been used in surgeries for 30 plus years in the US, and it's thread that actually dissolves in about 6 to 8 months, and it leaves behind skin that was lifted, repositioned, and it's built collagen in the area to sort of stave off aging process. Then the other thing to know is that mint threads are actually 3 times FDA approved. One for skin approximation, secondly for nasolabial fold depth reduction, and lastly for facial suspension surgery, they call it. But that just means moving the skin around to suspend it in a more attractive way that is more youthful in your appearance. Sometimes people want to compare a face thread lift with an actual plastic surgeon's facelift procedure, but they are 2 totally different procedures that give you different results. They certainly cost different amounts and they last different lengths of time as well. So a facelift is a procedure where the surgeon will cut your skin away from your face, usually from the side of your face, all past the inside of your ears, down around under your jaw, and actually pull out tissue from underneath your neck and then stretch it back up, tack it on the sides with sutures inside your skin, and then reposition the skin, cut off the extra skin, and then sew back together the remaining skin to the rest of your head. It is a long recovery time, probably at least a month before you are even starting to look normal. You will have lots of swelling, lots of bruising, look very strange for a while. It also does last much longer. So as you can imagine, the skin is actually removed. That's the excess skin that was lax or that was drooping down. And so that skin is no longer there, and that will in itself just keep your face looking tighter and more youthful over time. And they say a facelift can last probably about 10 years, so it's a good investment. It also does cost a lot more than a face thread lift that's done as an in-office med spa procedure. So a facelift that is done by the plastic surgeon can cost you $45,000, $50,000 easily, and just depends on what area of the country you're in. Whereas a face thread lift procedure that's done with mint threads is more in the couple of thousands of dollars. So it also depends on what areas you're going to do. So perhaps each area is about $1,500 or a little more or less depending on what part of the country. So to do the whole face might be around $4,000 or higher or lower. So it's quite a different investment. Those are the main differences between the facelift done by a plastic surgeon, MD, medical provider, medical doctor, and a PDO thread facelift that is done by a trained aesthetic medical provider, either an RN, a nurse practitioner, or a PA. So that's who we have performed the procedure at Glosshouz. They're trained in the procedure and they practice on models before they are able to do any of our patients. So those are the main differences. Now let's talk about the process for getting a face thread lift procedure at Glosshouz. First, what you'll want to do is talk to your medical provider and have a consultation for thread lifts about if you are a good candidate. Most people would be, but it just depends on what your expectations are, what you have going on in your life, any kind of health conditions that might compromise your treatment. So you'll want to have a talk with the medical provider. Then if you want to move forward with the procedure, we will schedule that out with her. It does take about 90 minutes to complete the total procedure. So the first step would be that we would map the threads on your face to target the areas of concern. So we would draw it out basically on your forehead, on your cheeks, on your midface, on your jawline, and plan what we call the traditional vectors that are tied into your skin versus the reverse vectors that are pulled up and fastened with a sort of fixing thread. So there's different techniques and ways that we can affix the tissue, and we would map all of that out on your face before we begin. Then we would numb your skin with lidocaine. Everyone says this is the worst part of the procedure, but it is over very quickly, maybe in 1 or 2 minutes, and we just numb the entry ports and along the path of the threads, and we can use a needle or a cannula which will just deposit the lidocaine into your skin. So you also cannot be allergic to lidocaine, of course, or you wouldn't be able to receive this treatment. Then comes the actual placing of the threads, and that is going to take about 45-60 minutes, depending on how many threads you're getting and what areas, if you're doing multiple areas. A lot of people might want to do a full mid-face and lower face, or they might want to target lower face and jawline. Others might want to do a full face thread lift, which would include the eyebrows and the neck area. It just depends on what you are wanting to target. And there's also different pricing associated with different areas that you'll be getting the procedure. Then we tighten the threads after they're placed. And there's different ways to anchor the threads within the tissue to help them stay in place. And then we do that. It takes about 5 minutes. Lastly, we'll cleanse the skin and put a tiny bandage on the insertion points. You don't want to wear makeup for about 3 days. You don't want to go into a hot sauna or get lotion or put your hands on your entry points or anything like that. You just want to keep it very clean and let it heal on its own. And then lastly, you will just enjoy your results. So the FDA approval is for 1 year, but we have noticed that the thread lift can last longer than that. And everyone is going to be different, and everyone's treatment will have different outcome based on their own facial anatomy. But you can expect that your facelift results would last at least a year, and hopefully longer, and maybe 2 or 3 years before you are wanting to do face threads again. Some people do face threads every year just as a maintenance procedure to keep putting those extra threads, building collagen, firming up the tissue over time as the years go by. That is another strategy for getting the face thread lift procedure. So we already talked about if you wanted to get a face thread lift, then you would book your consultation appointment. And just remember that when you are going to be doing the procedure, we recommend no dental appointments 2 weeks before or after, no traveling 1 week after, and also you don't want to have any special event planned right after. Probably about a week is fine, and any soreness and bruising that you have might go away after 7 to 10 days. You don't want to have a lot of alcohol. Talk to your doctor about being on blood thinners. Always remember that there is a chance of bleeding and bruising. You will be sore and tender right after. You can expect some swelling, not only from the lidocaine, but just from putting the threads in your skin. That will cause a little swelling. Or you might be very lucky and have no bruising, just a little swelling, and look completely fine. So we've seen that happen to some people as well. There are some adverse effects that could happen that usually resolve on their own. So those are going to be things like having a little dimple or a rippling where the threads were pulled tightly, having some unevenness in the skin. But this is typical, and it will usually just smooth out over the next few days and week or so. If you have any lasting complication beyond a week, then we will just have you back in, and a medical provider can assess and usually do a number of techniques to further smooth out any dimple or rippling and help you with all of that. So it's a very safe procedure. Some people say it's actually safer than doing fillers because you don't have any chance of getting filler into a vein. So the threads will just, go around the veins with the cannula technique that we use to place the threads. So there's not a danger of occluding a vessel or anything like that. So it's much safer in that regard, and the complications from it are usually very minimal. We don't see a lot of complications. Next, we will show you some of the procedure being completed on different patients, and we will load in their videos of their experience and how they were feeling day 1 through day 7 after their procedure. And then we will show you their before and after so that you can compare and see if you thought they got a great result. I'm here at the Glosshouz, and I'm very excited to be a model. But this is my before, and then I will show you guys my after, right after I get the treatment. All right, I did just want to point out and show you kind of my concerns. I have this sort of skin laxity right here. Could really go more that way. And this one too. But that's what happens when you're in your 50s.
And that's probably why she's so tight, is from the thread.
Ultra-fine, biocompatible threads are carefully placed beneath the skin surface by one of our expert providers.
It's a good
These
lift.
threads gently lift and reposition the skin while also stimulating your body's natural collagen production. Over time, as the threads dissolve, your skin continues to improve, becoming firmer, smoother, and more radiant from within. What makes the Face ThreadLift at Glosshouz different? Our team of highly trained providers delivers every treatment with precision, care, and an artistic eye. We customize every thread lift to your unique facial anatomy. The results speak for themselves. Clients leave with a visibly lifted, more defined appearance, and the benefits only get better over the following weeks as collagen builds. Reduced jowling, a sharper jawline, lifted cheeks, and smoother skin texture are just some of the transformations our clients experience. Okay, folks, this is me right after. This is just a little blood spot right there, but you can see so snatched here and here. And we did full face, so I still have like a lot of swelling where they did my brow up that way. But I'll give you a progress report as we go along. So here I am almost a week later. You can see that my whole face is turning slightly green on this side. And then I've got these 2 bruises right here. Although when I put makeup on during the day, you can't really tell anything. So that's good, but it is kind of healing slowly. And that's been a week, so I just wanted to show you that. And my eyes, I think this side is still kind of swollen because I can feel it's a little puffy and it's putting my lid down a little bit. But this side is looking great, which is with the brow lift that I wanted. So hopefully this will clear up in the next week or 2. And this is the same day, but now I just put on some makeup, but you can see still a little green under there. But overall, looks good. Feels good. Okay, so in this scene, you will see that the registered nurse is holding the ends of the thread, and then she is tying them literally into a knot with a double tie. She will cut off the ends of the threads so that only the knot is left, and then push the knot back through the hole into the skin. Okay, so this is day 2. How are you feeling?
A little sore here, a little sore here, and swollen, but
Yes.
not bad.
Okay, let's see. Turn your face side to side. Let's see. Good. Okay, that's fine. Good. And the other way. Looking good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, happy healing.
Happy healing.
Because of just the way her eyes are so okay. You should be this. Okay, my time is coming.
That's enough.
That was plenty.
Wait, you gotta see this part, Kaya.
Yeah, you gotta see this.
Please watch this part.
That's how you tighten it up.
So do those have the like barbs in them too?
They do. They're either multi-directional or bi-directional, so that's why we can put them in traditionally or reverse, like these ones.
And then just dissolve over time?
Yeah, this one's like giving me a hard time. It's really straight. Does not want to bend. There we go.
Okay, my time is coming.
That's enough.
That was plenty.
Wait, you gotta see this part, Kaya.
Yeah, you gotta see this.
Please watch this part.
That's how you tighten it up.
So do those have the like barbs in them too?
They do. They're either multi-directional or bi-directional, so that's why we can put them in traditionally or reverse, like these ones.
And then just dissolve over time?
For the next minute, enjoy these photos of before and after face ThreadLift procedures. In this episode, we explored the treatable areas from brows and cheeks to the jawline and neck. We broke down exactly what PDO threads are for lifting threads, how they work, and how they compare to a traditional surgical facelift. We walked through the full procedure step by step, from your initial consultation and facial mapping to numbing, thread placement, and healing with aftercare. We heard real patients share honest experiences day by day as they healed, and we saw the before and after results speak for themselves. If you're curious about whether a face thread lift is right for you, the best first step is a complimentary consultation with our expert providers at Glosshouz. Here you can see that even men enjoy the face thread lift procedure to help reduce their neck skin and firm up under their jawline. They get great results as well. Visit glosshouz.com and book your complimentary face thread lift consultation appointment today. We hope to see you soon. And this last photo is just one of me after about 1 month after the face thread lift procedure. So I just wanted to show you the lasting results and what you can expect after some amount of time.
Thank you for joining us on the Aesthetic Advantage podcast by Glosshouz. If you'd like to learn more about us, our treatments, memberships, franchise opportunities, visit glosshouz.com. Please give us a review anywhere you listen to the podcast and be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love it if you would share this show with anyone passionate about aesthetics and wellness as we are. Until next time, stay inspired, stay beautiful.